Hi friends, we are going to talk about taking a design and transferring it to a surface that we're going to be carving on in order to make our prints. So we've been working on different designs. You came up with 3 different designs, selected the best one, refined it a little bit, and now we're going to recreate the design that you selected on a piece of paper that will be transferred onto this block for us to carve. The first thing we're going to do is you're going to get a piece of paper that's about this size, but we're going to make sure that it is exactly the size of our block, because that way when we're recreating our design, it's the right size and it will fit there. So you're going to take your block, put it on your piece of paper, you're going to trace it, and then you know exactly how big your design can be. You're going to create your design there. I already did one on the other side here. So once you've created your design inside the parameters, you are going to take scissors and cut it down to the right size. Now it's exactly the same size as our block here, and we are going to look at our design and make sure that we have drawn it and we've really pressed hard and traced our design several times. We talked a little bit about our design for the printing process, and about how it's really difficult, especially if this is your first time doing printmaking, to create fine lines and really small details. So hopefully you don't have any really small details. You can see I have like some kind of texture here. That should be able to be recreated on your block. But you're going to want to go over all those details at least 3 times with your pencil. Make sure that it's nice and dark. You've applied a lot of the material to the paper, and that is the material that is going to transfer onto this block. So once you've traced it 3 times, you have a nice dark pencil drawing. You're going to flip it over, and you are going to tape it to your block so that it doesn't move around a little bit. Just bear in mind, and I know that I said this a lot, but you know what, I'll go ahead and put a letter right here so that you can see as a little reminder. If you did any letters, those letters are going to print backwards. So here I put a C for my first name, Courtney. I don't know if a lot of you guys knew that. But you'll see, because I drew it the way I would when I'm writing, when I put it that way, it's going to be backwards. So that is not actually what you want to do. So I'll do it this way so you can see it, and hopefully you won't make this mistake. We'll tape it. And I can see my drawing is there, so I'm going to tape it on the sides. Then once it's pretty secure, I'm going to take a pencil again, and I'm going to basically color the back of the paper. And I'm going to press pretty hard. I don't want to poke holes in it, but I'm going to press pretty hard. And I'm just going to go over, making sure that I don't see any white paper. I'm covering it all up with pencil. And as I do this, your drawing is going to transfer onto our carving block. And if I miss spots like I did right here, it's okay, just go back. Make sure that you've really covered it, because you don't want to pick up your paper and then realize that you didn't really get the whole design on there. And if you have some of your design under your tape, you can color over your tape. All right, once it's pretty solid, you're gonna peel the tape off, peel it back, and you're gonna see a mirror image of what you just did on your block. Now, some kids ask, why don't we draw directly on this material? Well, because number one, paper is easier to erase on, and it's good to do a couple different tries or versions of your design before you put it on the material that you're going to be carving on. And number two, I think it's good practice learning how to transfer images. I think it's kind of fun to do. So you can see now, because it is a mirror image, that C is backwards. I made that mistake on purpose so that you don't. Make sure that if you want to do letters, that those are flipped over. They're the opposite way. Then, once you have your image transferred here, you are going to take this piece of metal here, and you are going to put your carving material on top of it. The reason we're doing that is because we are going to be using tools that are pretty sharp, and we don't want to gouge up the table. We want them to stay put. That little edge kind of helps. And it's at a little bit of an angle, which is nice as well. And then you can begin to carve. Now, for most of you, this is your first time carving into this material. Couple tips. Number one, don't carve towards your finger. So in case your hand slips, this is cutting this substance. It will also cut your fingers. So you don't want to have your hand there. You also don't necessarily want to cut towards yourself. Again, if your hand slips or someone's walking around and they trip and fall, bump into you, you could get injured that way. And it's just good practice. You're also going to want to go slowly, and you're going to want to press pretty lightly when you're doing this. And that is because, again, you've not done it before, so you don't know how much you're going to want to take off. And once you carve into this and the piece comes off, you can't put it back, and you're not getting another block to do this on. This is a thing where you get one of these and that's it. So you're going to want to go slow, because you can always carve deeper or take more out, but you can't put any back. You also don't want to poke all the way through to the other side. You're going to want to, I don't know, like maybe half an inch, not quite a half an inch thick. So it is pretty thick, but you could, if you kept going back and digging in and carving more and more out, get all the way through to the other side, and that's not going to be great. So don't do that. So once you have your design there and you feel ready to cut, you're going to carve the parts away that you want to remove. As you do that, as I carve pieces up, you can see the pencil is going away. You're going to want to go slowly. I just did what I told you guys not to do. I flipped that around, pointed it towards myself, and take out just little bits at a time. Now, the part that you are removing is the part that is not going to grab the ink. The part that is going to grab the ink is the part that is still there. So the ink will adhere to this area right now, the way I'm doing it, and the area that's coming through that is not being carved away. If you wanted to do the opposite, so if you wanted the ink to be, I did a design with fish, to be on the fish, so you saw that, then you would want to carve around the fish on the outside. So that you would just see the ink sticking to the places where you had the fish and not to this background. Now, the tool that you're starting with is the tool that looks kind of like a V-shaped. I feel like this is a pretty versatile tool. So it is the one I'm starting you with. And again, if you want to take more off, you definitely can. But go slow and carefully. Now, when you're all done, we're going to go to the next step, which is applying ink or like whatever you want to apply. Even people do printing with paint and things like that, and then using this to create an image on another substance, like a fabric or a piece of paper. But that will be in the next video. So right now, this is as far as you are going to get. Let me know if you have any questions, and that's it.